All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're logging in from. We have people all around the world. My name is Brandon Ivy from Los Angeles, California. I am the founder and CEO of Ivy League Crypto Academy. Education is key. Education is everything. Go ahead and type in the chat box where you're listening in from. And as a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I cover the news, information for entertainment, educational, and training purposes only. And it is up to you to make your own intelligent financial decision on which direction you want to move into the future. So happy Friday morning. I know this is rare. I take Fridays off, but it's got to be very special for me to come into work today in my office. And I am very, very excited to be doing this call today because we have some special guests that I want to reintroduce you to. I interviewed this group about a couple of months ago, when we announced the soft launch of a brand new project. At the time, I had just launched our 3 new crypto educational courses from DeFi, NFTs, and the Metaverse. And it just so happened that a project came across our desk that is dealing with all of that and the gaming industry at the same time. So it was a perfect fit, perfect match with my business partners, Mr. Alan Platt and Peter Blackwell, that I've been in business with for more than 8 years now. Almost 10 years. So when they called me up and told me about this project, I don't think they realized what they were doing when it pertained to me, because this fits my passion in multiple ways. You know, I'm passionate about the crypto industry. I've been in crypto now for 7 years. I'm passionate about the network marketing industry. It made me 7 figures and walked me off my job at 25 years in this industry. But let me tell you something that I'm even more passionate about, something that I've been doing since I was 2 years old, before I could talk. That's the gaming industry, And when you're able to put those 3 things together and say that not only can you have fun playing a game, but you're going to also put into that your networking skills, and we're adding a crypto ecosystem into the match that you can make money by playing a game at the same time. Where do I sign up? I knew I was all in. So instead of me just sitting here rambling, talking about this, I want to introduce you guys to the core behind this project. There's a project called Star Horizon by way of Starvara. I want to bring up Mr. Nicholas Vandenberg, Greg Stevens, and also somebody I am brand new to meeting is Mike Saunders to the team. So gentlemen, good evening for you guys in South Africa. How are you doing today?
Hey Brandon, it's great to be here. Thank you for having us on your show. I know you're one of our great supporters. It's 5 p.m. here in South Africa, so a little ahead of your time. But it's great to be here. We've got Mike Saunders, who's our Chief Technical Officer, and our CMO, Nick Vandenberg, online.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for taking time out of your schedule. I know, especially on a Friday evening. And we won't keep you long and short. You can go as long as you would like, but much appreciated for us in America that you're taking time out to share with us your passion. I know we've been doing presentations now for a couple of months, and we've been getting the word out about Starvara and what it's about. We've got several different communities here. We've got people that are gamers. We've got people that have never played games at all, but they understand crypto, and they understand that the metaverse is now one of the most hottest topics around the world, and they're curious. And then we got people who want to make some money, whether they want to play the game or not. And they're like, well, how can I invest in Starvara and what's going on? So I want to turn it over, and I'm going to start with first Nicholas, so that Nicholas, they can properly introduce Greg and Mike to everybody. Because Nicholas, I did an interview with him back in the day, and a chance to share with us, how did you come and be a part of this Starvara project, and your role, and why you're here, and what you're so excited about.
Certainly, thank you, Brandon. And let me introduce then Greg Stevens, our visionary CEO. I mean, really, what I've always been passionate about is just the energy that exudes from Greg every single day in terms of where we're going, how we're driving this business forward. Obviously, I get to work with Mike Saunders, who I've been working with for a number of years. And for me, the passion has really been to see how we've been merging these two incredible, businesses from the networking, the gaming side into one ecosystem. And I know Greg's obviously going to go into a lot of detail on that now shortly. So I'm going to let him actually just take the floor. I know we've been excited to be on the show tonight. And I was obviously going to share with you what we're doing from a marketing perspective. And then again, to answer your question, why we're so passionate in terms of what we're launching in the coming months. So Greg, take it away.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for the introduction. I think probably the best place for me to start would be a little bit of my background. I'm actually no stranger to the US market. I was one of the founders of an early online esports tournament product back in 2009. Really, the concept of this platform that we built out was the migration from local area network gaming in the esports sphere, bringing that into an online arena where gamers could be rewarded through playing games in AAA high fidelity gaming, working with some of the big gaming publishers like Blizzard, Activision, EA, Ubisoft, bringing games at that time. I'm actually a StarCraft player, so bringing StarCraft, Trackmania, FIFA into an online ecosystem where gamers could be rewarded for the time that they were grinding out playing games. We called it player displacement. You had gamers, wherever they were, if it was in their basement or in a convention center or in their room at home, spending 3 to 6 hours a day playing games, but not ever really getting that return on investment for them, putting their skills to work. So that was really the concept of that product. We had great success in it. Subsequently, I've been involved in a number of other gaming startups globally, also involved in 2 listed companies. So extensive experience in the esports and gaming sphere. Unfortunately, we couldn't have our chief game architect. We wanted to bring him online. I know you've had an interview with him before, Brandon. Dominic Bojkovic, who's the real genius behind this product. But yeah, long story short, 20 years in the gaming business. And I think where I am today with this team and the project is I would say a culmination of my life's work, with everything coming together at the right time, calling it the perfect storm with this massive multiplayer online game, which is really, it's an MMORPG, but it's a lot more in terms of our ambitions and our vision for the future and how it's bridging the gap between Web 2 and Web 3, but really bringing it into something that we like to call the multiverse. We don't like to call it the metaverse. We like to call it the multiverse. Endless opportunities, endless earning opportunities, bringing direct sales, MMO gaming together in this explosive time.
Fantastic. And one thing that I love from what you're saying and your past and your history is I've been around for a while and I've seen a lot of CEOs when they create a business, they create a compensation or a network plan first, and then they're looking for a product to attach to it. And that's backwards. And what I love what you guys, it's actually the opposite. You've been in development of this game and this project for years before, and you're still, as we're in pre-launch, putting together the networking side of things, the compensation side, because the focus is on the product and the game, and I have much respect for that. So tell us about, you came from the StarCraft world. Why Starvara? What made you think let's do this space epic type MMO AAA game, and how this is not just a voxels type game or a Minecraft, but a real AAA game like the likes of a StarCraft and World of Warcraft and those types?
I think it was, again, really, the perfect storm of like-minded, passionate people coming together and wanting to create something different and innovative, but really having the skill sets and the technology to do it. Again, this has been a long journey for me. It's been 20 years in this business. I like to say it's cyclical. You've got to go through the failures of learning about products along the way, and then taking those learnings and those failures and applying it to new innovations. And I think we're just at a point now where, with Dom and his incredible team, which have been building this game now, the back end side of it, for 2.5 years. So this has been in development for 2.5 years, and it's not something that's just come to fruition. This is, a lot of learnings, a lot of stumbling blocks, a lot of iterating on game design to really get something that's going to work. I know Dom's spoken about it, also being able to scale an MMO game through byte streaming. I was also involved in a cloud gaming product, which we were working with some of the big mobile network operators globally, which was all about being able to stream high fidelity content from the cloud to a smart device. And now we've taken it a step further with our byte streaming technology, where we can launch this massive multiplayer online game to millions of people around the world into the future.
Now, you said something there, millions of people around the world. Could you explain to everybody what exactly is an MMO RPG? I know the answer, but for you explain to them, what exactly does that mean and how people can interact with that?
Yeah, I think I'm going to hand that question over to the main networker on this call.
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Nick?
No, absolutely. No, I mean, listen, Brandon, like you and me, we had these conversations earlier and previously around how these games really affect your life. So from an MMORPG, really what you're looking at is you're looking at an immersive world where you as the player are interacting not only with the environment, but you're interacting with other individuals from around the world. You're collaborating with them. You have the ability to be able to upskill your avatar, yourself, in many, many ways. And if you look at what we're looking to do and what we're achieving here in terms of how this game from our perspective is evolving, you have a number of skill sets where you're going out there and you're foraging and you harvesting resources. And that's really what this MMORPG genre is about. It's about being able to have the ability to harvest resources, craft. So you're going and harvest phosphorus, and that phosphorus allows you to make gunpowder, and that gunpowder allows you to make bullets. And then you're able to then, collaborate with other individuals around the world within this open world universe and create different components that you need in order for you to survive. You're then able to level up these skills. You're then able to utilize those skills and acquire cosmetics, acquire loot boxes by spending time within these environments. I mean, just come in the back of playing, I'm sure you've been playing it, Brandon, Hogwarts Legacy and the like. And, these games are very limited in terms of the ability to be able to enable you to do what we're bringing to the table. So we're very excited about that. But just that's it in a nutshell. It really, these games, this genre allows you to immerse yourself fully within this digital environment. You're able to then leverage all the various attributes that's been assigned to your character, your class of character. You're able to then upskill those various attributes, and you're able to then interact in the world in a different way. So if you're choosing a pilot class, that gives you certain abilities to be able to then fly between different solar systems and do so in an incredible way. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. And I'm using obviously examples of what we're building to highlight that fact.
And I think if you look at the possibilities, we're the game is step one, where we are building a new digital frontier with really limitless earning potential, and you're really combining a $200 billion plus gaming industry with a $200 billion direct sales industry and a $1 trillion Web3 market in the most innovative and disruptive way. So if we look at the intersection, Web3, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, we intersect with all these technologies. And with our direct sales as our unique distribution arm, it really empowers networkers to earn a living through this multiverse and the ability to earn into the future.
Well, that part right there allows our members to be able to earn a living in this multiverse. I think one thing I'd like to tell everybody that it's not more than just a game. So, well, I'm not a gamer. It's that this is about an alternative reality experience that you can have. And I speak from experience. I was for years stuck on this game, Matrix Online. And I joined it because of the title. Everybody liked the Matrix movies, but we were in that game for 4 to 5 years. I was a leader of my clan, my guild. We had the largest clan. And what got us to continue playing was the fact that even though the game had its game mechanics that were programmed in and its monthly storylines, but the players were able to create our own content, and we created our own experiences on the social side. We made lifelong friends. We integrated. I mean, my oldest son, I have him on here watching, and I'm excited because my entire career, this is the first time I'm going to be working with my own son in a project, because it's a gaming world. But he was small when I was playing this game and saw that I spent hours in this world, and I actually had to pull out of it because it wasn't doing anything for me in real life. You know, I was rich in this world, but I couldn't pull any of that money out. I couldn't transfer it into what's going on in my real life. But when this ecosystem that you guys are creating, the play to earn model, you know, my youngest son plays Fortnite, and he said, Dad, I need money for V-Bucks. I'm like, V-Bucks for what? He says, well, I got to buy skin, and I've got to buy the emotes and the dancing and the new weapons. I'm like, are you able to sell any of that? Are you able to make any money from that? Do you actually own that? No, but we're spending real world money in it. And but what if, just the concept, what if we actually did make money from that? We're able to pull money out, have a whole ecosystem. And that's what you guys provided. So could you spend just a couple of minutes just kind of talking about that?
We had a laugh before we started this call. We really want to share. There's so much we need to share with you, Brandon. There's so much that's happened over the last 6 weeks in terms of our roadmap. In terms of what's coming. The true breaking of ground when it comes to the innovations with our development team and our technical team, and it all ties into that question. We've got some. So it's kind of like we want to give you something, but we don't want to give away too much at this point. We've got a call that we're setting up for Monday to all our dedicated leaders and network, where we're going to be unveiling some very cool things regarding the roadmap and what's coming next. But yeah, I don't know, maybe Mike from our technical side would like to give you guys an overview and can give you a breakdown of maybe the tokenomics and how our system operates.
Thanks, Greg. Brandon, I think it's sort of simply, the concept it's not novel, but there aren't really there's no sort of publishers in the market that have been able to execute this properly. In most sort of top title games, it's actually can lead to subscriptions or game accounts being banned. And to your point, people can put in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 hours into their game experience, build what is sort of deemed from another game player's perspective as incredible value, and they just can't do anything with it. And in attempts to derive some real world value, will sort of go out in the black market, do a little side hustle, try to sell their accounts, and then suddenly, bam, they get banned. There's been some high profile cases recently on Steam where this has happened. And it's against terms and conditions, and they just go, well, sorry, you've agreed to this. What we're doing, flipping this on its head, is completely embracing it, to your point. Most of the game assets will exist on our backend database. Once people go through the crafting experience to Nick's point, or in a PvP battle zone, are able to destroy an opposition's ship and maybe commandeer that item, that then belongs to them, to their account. At any sort of inflection points of that game player's choosing, they're then able to move those assets onto a blockchain. We have some pretty exciting stuff that I'm also not going to allude to right now, in terms of some pretty epic stuff that we're doing on the blockchain. It then allows people to be able to move these assets seamlessly to peers within this ecosystem. So I could very easily then trade an asset with you for whatever tokens of my choosing, whether it's Ethereum, Bitcoin, through a peer-to-peer sale process. We're also going to be incorporating an auction house where people can then bid on these assets and these items, And then once that item is sitting on a blockchain and you've got your tokens for it, you've now got real world value for that. As we're seeing, you said yourself earlier, you've been in the blockchain space for about 7 years now. The access to blockchain or tokens as a payment mechanism is becoming ubiquitous. And I think that kind of tells its own story. So it's really, really exciting what we're doing there. In the blockchain area itself, one of the big issues, obviously, that we've seen recently in EVM or Ethereum projects is escalating fees, also time taken for these transactions to take place. We are aiming for a near zero fee ecosystem.
You're giving away a lot there, brother.
Mike.
Brandon,
we're aiming for it.
I told Mike to maybe seed it, but not be too specific.
We're not
giving away the bank there, my friend.
Okay.
I knew that was going to happen, Mike. You were just going to let that slip at some point.
Wow.
0 minutes. I heard it.
Next on the block here. But yeah, guys, I think it's just seeing a comment coming through here as a gamer. This is absolutely groundbreaking. We're seeing a lot of chatter in the market from some of the biggest game streamers. The demand is out there. People are talking about this. Imagine if game mechanics can exist. And we've been building this for the last couple of years behind the scenes and making phenomenal progress on this front.
I just want to add there, so if I may, Brandon, I mean, you spoke about it, and this to me is the exciting part. It's giving that experience that is more than just you sitting in front of your computer, your console, your mobile phone, and it's allowing to share that. So if I may just touch on that, and that's really where that networking effect comes into it. So you're already talking that you're wanting to experience this with your son. That's incredible. I mean, I'm going to be doing the same thing with my son. They're prolific gamers. Sorry, my daughters and my son. So they're prolific gamers. And that's the experience that we're bringing to the fore here, which is the ability to be able to realize that time that you spent. I mean, if you're spent 4 years of your life within the matrix, now you're able to actually share that. What Mike was alluding to there without giving the game away, it's really the ability to visualize that on a second screen experience, on a third screen experience, and be able to then really show the fruits of your labor, isn't it? Obviously, would be able to withdraw those funds that you spent hours within the game, crafting, skilling up. And then more than that is just the ability to be able to share in a visual way the assets that you've acquired from, the cosmetics and the ships and the avatar components. So that's really why we're so excited. Well, that's why I'm so excited. It's just that ability to be able to leverage this, what we've got at the core and the heart of this incredible MMORPG, and being able to obviously leverage that within the network space.
And how we're going to, what's really unique about this, and this will be disclosed in the coming week. I'm not going to give away too much. Really how the direct sales are our distribution arm, and how this fuses into the Starvara ecosystem in a very, very, very cool way. And this is going to be disclosed, and that's what we're going to be announcing, which really ties this all together.
Well, I tell you guys, I've got people that will come up to me and ask, well, Brandon, I'm not a gamer. So is there a way that I can interact, and maybe even I understand this is a huge industry, and those that are my students in my company, they know the value and what the metaverse is going to be. Every bank out there in major business is staking their claim and trying to create a place in the metaverse for their businesses, for their interactions, for their network, their companies. And people are looking and say, well, is there a way I can invest in Starvara or Star Horizon and be a part of it, and maybe even make money, even if I'm not actually a gamer? And because I know you guys got more updates coming, but what you could share, is there a way that they can do that?
Absolutely. And that's something we've been speaking about for a number of months now. And that's really the unique opportunity. You certainly don't necessarily need to be a gamer like we have on the show and yourselves, and obviously Greg and Mike included in that. You have the ability through the access, through the network layer. And I'm just going to leave it at that in terms of its general statement, which is the ability to be able to access cosmetics, loot boxes, from which in the game economy is key. Let's reference back to what you were saying in terms of Matrix. You have the ability there in our environment to be able to acquire these assets from a gaming perspective in terms of time, but from a networking, from an earning ability for the networkers that are on the call this morning, this evening, wherever they may be in the world. There is something very unique that we have constructed in terms of the last 3 years on our roadmap, which is giving a networker or an affiliate the ability to be able to acquire these items through the access, through the economy, through the ability to network. You and I, sorry, let's use right English here. You and I have been able to trade and network and sell these access packs in the pre-onboarding phase, for which is then getting the utility in the form of a loot box, in a cosmetic. And as Mike alluded to, within this incredible experience, we're able to then trade that within the galactic exchanges. So that's how they're able to get excited in terms of what they're doing from an earning perspective. And that's why the gamers are so critical, is because they're wanting to acquire those skins and cosmetics, as you so well know. And that really is the secret sauce here in terms of how we've merged these two worlds together. So you don't need to be a gamer, but from an earning perspective, from a networker, you can see the vision in terms of what the gamers are looking for, what they're wanting to acquire in terms of, and I always talk about this, the golden poofer jacket. You know, you might have one because you've accessed it through the earn flow, and you've acquired this item within the loot box. But I can tell you, we all know that those gamers are aspiring to wear that in this open world environment, and you have the ability to sell it to them. So that's really the unique opportunity, where you don't need to be a gamer, but certainly you can be both.
Well, I'll tell you, from a psychological point of view and personal experience, the whole cosmetic digital space is exploding around the world, and not just the gaming industry, but just the digital representation of yourself as far as an avatar, from the boardrooms to the schools for children, especially from the COVID era, how we want to represent ourselves. And people take this very, very seriously. In real life, I don't care how I dress. You know, my wife and my brother, they dress me. But in the digital world, I care a lot because it represents me. And I'll spend a lot of money and time just collecting gears and outfits and my look. And we're only limited to what the game mechanics allow. Those who play Grand Theft Auto, GTA, for example, there's a certain number of clothing items and things that you can wear. But what you guys have created is where it's almost unlimited, where you won't have two characters that look alike. You know, you can create, just like if anybody that watched the movie Ready Player One, you can create your persona. So can you briefly describe a little bit about that part of it, the cosmetics of Starvara?
Mikey, I think it's for you.
Yeah, that's you, babe. That's you, Mike. Go for it.
Yeah, so very, very, very interesting. I think the starting point is actually building out the core sense of self. We've built a very, very what's completely bespoke novel approach to an avatar character builder. We're currently sitting now at about 7 to 9 billion different possible permutations. Everything from, you can have pink skin, blue skin, lizard skin, cybernetic eyes. Really, really, really interesting, highly performant.
Diversity.
Yeah, exactly. All inclusive. And we're really sort of focusing on how that would kind of enhance the narrative of the story across this expansive universe, 25,000 years into the future, allowing people to represent themselves in any which way they want to. We are in the region of about 1,600 different unique assets that are going to be available in the game, of which a significant portion of those are going to be your different cosmetics. Everything from headgear, we've got placement slots for the neck, capes, body, pants, shoes, gloves, with very different drop rates. some as rare as 1 in 30,000 chance of dropping. So, once you got your swag, you can walk around. Nick loves his gold puffer jacket, knowing that there's, very, very likely not even another person that owns the same item as you. So it's a very, very, very important part of what we're building, is being able to present that sense of self in this ecosystem.
Wow. Well, I got a question now. This is for my networkers. And I know you've got to update calls about this next week, so only answer for what you can. But explain, because people that are big in my community on nodes. We're part of many different projects that are offering nodes, and every project is different when it comes to the nodes. Well, what is the power and the importance of the whole nodes and the Starvara ecosystem and powering the gaming world?
So I think just to step back, we talk about the bond system. In our ecosystem, which is the bonds are pegged at $6.99 for a 14-day pass, regardless of the price of VARA. So for every bond that a user burns in exchange for premium membership, $3 is dedicated to the tokenomic model, where $1 is used to buy back and burn VARA tokens, and the other $2 is distributed to node token holders. So proportional to the amount of VARA tokens they stake on those nodes. So in effect, that $2 makes up 33% of our main value generation of the game. And that's through, we call it bond, but that's the fiat onboarding, that's the subscription sale. So really having ownership of a node gives you access to earn 33% of our gaming revenues. Now, if you benchmark that against other big companies in the MMO space, we're talking some big numbers. So really that is the value of the bond.
And there's only going to be 25,000 of these nodes available. So the rarity of this is so important that in these early stages, we went through stealth launch. Now that we're in pre-launch, we're telling our community, this is the time that you'd want to be an early adopter and get your hands on these nodes as fast as you can. And do you plan on, especially for the early comers, the price will be going up as time goes on? Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a scarce item. It's fixed. It's 25,000 forever time. You could also compare it to giving up real ownership in this business. And those nodes really control the channel to access this revenue that is generated from the bond sales. And as we sell more of these bonds, the price will go up. And what's also unique about it is that you'll be able to trade them. Prior to the game launching, you'll be able to trade them within our pre-open world, which is the direct sales arm. This is the network arm of Star Horizon, which again, we've got a lot of updates coming next week in terms of that roadmap and what's coming. And you'll be able to trade those bonds.
Well, let me ask you this question now, especially on the marketing side, because we're the first ones that's hearing about this. Most people out there have no idea who Starvara is or Star Horizon. And as a AAA game, and you're preparing for E3 and all of the gaming conventions that come up, what is your plan as far as marketing development for the millions of people out there that know nothing about networking, but they're gamers and they're paying attention to this industry? Do you have a plan for that type of mass adoption and rollout?
Absolutely. I mean, that is something that we have put on our roadmap. That is the exciting part. That is exactly what you mentioned in terms of all these various international conventions, gaming conventions. And it's also, once we're going into the stage of alpha and beta, you are making your product available within the global stores. So that's giving you access to these communities within the Steam world, within the Epic game universe. And that really gives us the ability to be able to market and drive in what essentially is the traditional space of the gaming world in terms of the showcase videos, the showcase content. Greg, I know, and myself and the rest of the team, and Mike, we're going to be hitting the shows as you normally would, and that's the big exciting part. We're going to be
Brandon, this is a difficult interview. It's trying to have a conversation with you, answer questions without revealing too much. But another interesting part of our business is we like to call it a walled garden. And I think this is one of the biggest challenges in the Web3 gaming sphere. Anyone that's related to crypto assets is gaining access to critical mass. Now, you've got 2.7 billion online gamers worldwide. If you look at the Web3 gaming market, it doesn't even feature. There are no eyeballs, there's no activity, there's nothing when it comes to GameFi products. Now, what we're doing, which is very unique, we are going to launch our game on all the major platforms. And then we have this very unique Web3 layer through something that we're going to announce next week as part of the new application that we're launching, which allows us to convert digital assets in-game dynamically into crypto assets through an application, which allows us now to launch on all the major publisher platforms without any restrictions. Now, that gives us access to the true Web2 market. And when we say we're bridging the gap, we really are bridging the gap between Web2 and Web3. And I think we're going to be one of the first to do it effectively.
Wow. Well, I know I know what type of questions to ask as a gamer and a networker, and also from the crypto side. And so I'm trying to walk that fine line for what you can share.
I mean, imagine all the big Web3 projects that we've seen. None of them can confidently say that they're going to be launching on Nintendo Swift, Xbox, PS5, Steam, ubiquitous access across the board. And that's what we're about, is really getting this game out there to the masses, having the best of Web2 and Web3 all converging into one ecosystem.
Well, I hope everybody heard that, because people think when they hear multiverse or metaverse that they have to have something like this. And what you're saying is, really, you can have something like this: your phone, your tablet, your PC, and then you've got the Xbox, Nintendo Switch, your PlayStations, and I've never seen that cross-platform play before. Somebody on the PC on this scale for the MMO.
And what's also very unique about this is the networking layer, the actually build, which with our and I would have loved to have Dom and Win on this call just to share some of their true genius with the byte streaming and being able to scale concurrently to millions of players around the world. Is the system that they built, which is beyond unique.
Well, I can't wait to experience this, because I have been already saying to my community, I can't wait to be doing crypto talks and crypto education inside the metaverse. I always have a presence like that on a gaming platform and get it out there, because I know that this is the new frontier, not only for entertainment, for gaming, but also for work and for business. And now my wife doesn't need to scream at me to get off that game, because I can say, I'm working, I'm making money doing this. And so, guys, I don't want to take up too much of your Friday night. And I know we've got some update calls happening next week. So you want to go ahead and share the days, what's going to be taking place?
Absolutely. We have a big announcement come Monday. I'm in the process of sharing that out, Brandon. So you're going to get that all in the groups with the header and the cards. That, just double checking myself, is with all the different time zones. We spoke about it. It's 12 on Eastern Standard Time, so that means that it's applicable for the US markets on both coasts, and that means that it's 6 o'clock South African time, which is then GMT +2. So that's going to be sent on the groups this evening. We've got great content that's going to be pushed out, so you're definitely going to be able to share that with your teams, and you don't want to miss Monday's call. And then Wednesday's call next week is the big day. The big day in terms of being able to then obviously share what we are going to be doing, and how that's really going to drive this economy in terms of the next couple of weeks. So really, really excited.
And we're really excited about the roadmap coming up, all the expos that we'll be live at. There's a lot of great things happening, but very excited to really unveil the strategy. I know there's been a lot of dedicated networkers that have been with us from the early start. I mean, we only launched our pre-onboarding system in January, but what we've got coming is truly revolutionary. It's going to change the landscape.
Well, I got to say, guys, I've been around for a while, and I want to give you guys some gratitude and appreciation. And thank you guys for what you've been doing. You've been doing a great job so far in what you've been working with and the timetable. I know our group pushed your timetable up to make things happen. And your customer support has been fantastic. Your ability to access you has been fantastic. There's a lot of times out there you can never even get a hold of the CTO or the CEO and you guys are actively involved with the community. So much appreciation. Is there any last things you'd like to share for the community before all the updates next week?
I'd just like to share my gratitude, for all the top leaders and networkers that have been with us. And just like you say, we've been open, you guys have been open and really great in the support and that you've given us. But I also want to just remind everyone that, what we're building here is product first. And that's really what's going to drive this network on. When Nick speaks to, the opportunities of earnings, we've got some other things that we're going to unveil next week in terms of annuity and residual ways to earn, not just through cosmetics. So that's another thing to think about, food for thought. So we really are looking to change the landscape here, not just from a gaming perspective, but also from a direct sales perspective. And for me, just to share one last sentiment, it's always about empowering people. What can I do differently to solve a problem that empowers another person? And I think that that's really, our philosophy of this business. And that's why we're all so excited to be a part of it.
Wow. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for taking again time out of your Friday evening to come on and speak with all of us. And I look forward to this. And this is not a short-term thing for me. I'm looking at this being as a long-term partnership and project with you guys. And like I said, I played this game for 5 years and it didn't make me any money, but it kept me. And this makes us some money and we have some fun doing it. We meet new friends. I'm looking forward to this project. So thank you guys, and everybody else will get you the link for the call on Monday. We'll post that as soon as we have it. So for our community, right after our crypto talk Monday morning, we'll be jumping right on into the Starvara call following that. So again, gentlemen, thank you, Mike, Greg, Nicholas, and Dom. I miss Dom, so see Dom next time. Anytime you guys want to do another interview and share some more with our community, just let me know, and we'd love to have you back and share some more information. So thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you all on Monday.
Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, everyone.